Happy Tuesday. Yes, I'm back. I made it here, y'all. Truthful Tuesdays. Conversation with Amatullah. My friend Jayne of the Collective View will be joining. Hey, Purple. And our discussion will be, we're going to tackle that touchy subject for some, but it's a real subject for all of us because every day we're getting a little older. Hi, friend. Hey, Jayne.
Hello.
How are you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good.
Oh, it's so good to see you, friend. Thank you for coming
Oh,
through for Truthful
totally. It's you,
Tuesday.
man. How could I not?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
So, how's
totally.
everything going
It's good.
with you?
It's good. But I'm kind of excited about this topic, like especially being the nurse. I feel like I can speak to some of these things a little bit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, you definitely can. You definitely can.
Mhm.
Well, guys, our topic tonight is our truth with aging. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And
I,
Jayne, she is a nurse, so she's in the medical field also. So she knows some of the ins. We can see what happens on the outside, but she can tap into the inside of what
Mhm.
changes with our bodies the longer
Yeah.
we're here on this earth.
It's funny because even as an ER nurse, there's a lot of things that they medically they are really starting to work with geriatric ERs, like trying to make them like you not just because you're older and you fell, like we treat you differently now. So and how
Mm.
we handle things like that, like it's important. It really is interesting. So I'm gonna turn this light up. I think this might be too bright. There we go. Okay,
It
sorry.
is
It's like in the
important.
shadows there.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
no, it is important. That's a great way to think about it because you do need different
Yeah.
care the
hmm
longer that you're here.
Yeah. Like when you study life across the board, like, we have these areas, like there's these specialties of like pediatrics, there's these specialties of adolescence,
It's
and then
true.
you have like specialties of women that are of childbearing age. And then it kind of stops.
Stops. Right, right.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't though, that's the
Right,
thing. Um, So,
right.
like, I
Hi,
think
Carla.
what you had said over is like, what is my truth with aging? Like, it continues, and I don't really like the term aging. I prefer growing and maturing.
Whatever adjective we want to put there is fine. Hi, Latrice. So, but that's just a real word, but we can definitely say maturing. I like to say seasoned,
Yes,
We're becoming
season,
more seasoned the longer that we're here.
totally.
But Jayne, I would like to know what is your truth with maturing?
I'm honestly okay with it. Like, I remember when I turned 40, I was so excited to turn 40. Like,
Mhm.
I couldn't wait to hit the milestones. I wasn't like the person that's like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. Like, I don't know. I've been okay, like, embracing it. Just means like, it's almost like, yes, I made it this far. And I'm like,
Yeah,
look at what I've done. And
blessing.
like, who knows what the next chapter is going to hold. So I'm okay with certain aspects of aging, maturing, seasoning. Um, I I think like it's just one of those things to fully recognize that you aren't gonna be who you were when you were 21, and you can't go out and the same. I mean, you can't sleep on like 3.5 hours and be like good to roll. No, I require
Yeah,
a solid
yeah,
6 to 8 hours of sleep. Okay, I don't care, make fun of me, but like I feel
right.
so much better the next day, and that's who you want to deal with
It's so,
instead of the
so,
person on three
so
and a half
true.
hours so
Yeah, honey. I tell my children I used to run from sleep, and now I embrace it, and I'm trying to tell them to do the same thing sooner than me. But
how's that
it's so
working?
true. It's a battle. I am in them, So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but
totally.
I do set a better example,
Mhm.
and I feel like we're just gonna get better and better. We've come, we've come quite a ways with going to bed on time consistently.
Awesome, that's awesome. Yeah.
But
uh,
I love it that you just embrace. your maturity. I think that is the beautiful mindset to
Mhm.
have, because if we're not maturing, then what are we doing?
Exactly.
You
And I
know?
guess I look back at
Hmm.
like the person I was when I was in my 20s and 30s, and they weren't bad people. They were bad versions of me, but I'm like I do like who I am better than when I
Hmm.
was younger. So, it's just
Hmm.
different, maybe it's not like, oh, like body wise, but it's also more other things. It's just like how you handle stress and how you,
Yeah.
you know, manage
Hmm.
your life. So I'm really okay with it so far.
Well,
So,
that's really good. So, are you feeling a difference as you mature? Like, have you felt, some differences?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. There's no doubt. I absolutely, I it's nothing that I like lament over, but like I will wake up sometimes and be like, oh, little sore. Shouldn't be
Okay.
this sore. All right. Just, weird
Yeah.
things like that. That it's like, maybe like a little more sensitive to, like getting a headache from the weather or something like that. Or,
Hmm.
maybe if you choose to have that extra drink, it's like, this isn't, so I'm like, now I'm like, no, I'm good. It's,
You know
so
your
little
limits
things,
better. Hmm.
yeah. It's just, different physical things. They aren't bad, I don't think, but it's just one of those, okay, let me adjust. How can I fix it? Honestly, like I wake up and I do a couple minutes of yoga. It's nothing crazy, but I, have a
Hmm.
little routine, and it's for mentally it's good, but also physically, I think it does help me to
Sure.
feel a little bit more limber, faster in my day. So it's just little things I think like that. But it's like, oh, not the same. I don't hardly ever eat fast food because I can't
Hmm.
digest it the same.
Hmm.
I'm
The
not
body
interested
says
in,
no.
I'm not
Yeah, the body
interested
says mm-mm.
in,
Hmm.
no.
Yeah.
Uh, it's things like that um, for me that I recognize, but I'm okay with like adjusting it. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Just embracing the changes that come with maturing.
Yeah.
And so the next question is, how do you embrace that? So I think you tapped into that
Mhm.
a bit. But please share more about how you just embrace your
Mhm.
maturing, even mentally,
Yeah.
because it's the physical things that we feel, but then it's also the mental part of
Mhm.
embracing our maturing journey.
Yeah. I don't know how I've done that. It might, like, honestly, just being exposed to things in my life as an ER nurse and, like, really seeing people across the spectrum and how they are. I think it's just one of
Hmm.
those things like you just have a choice in everything that you do in life, and you can either be like, oh my gosh, this is awful. And I just think that age is a number. I say that to so many people. And I just think that, you know, you hear of like 80-year-olds that can run half marathons,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
maybe it's not a half marathon that you can run, but like you can still like be active. You can still carry on conversations because I do think keeping up physically will help you mentally.
For
So I
sure.
guess it's like kind of just not buying into it's like I'm this age. I am not defined by my age number. You know what I mean?
No.
And I think that is,
Hmm.
I'm more than that. I am,
Yes. Yes.
and who knows? Like, there's some really great, wasn't it Coco de Chanel or a couple of major fashion designers that started their journeys at the age of like 50, and like famous names, I'm forgetting them obviously at the moment because
Hmm.
I'm not the
I
fashion
know.
guru.
Well, I think Vera Wang was in her mid forties when
Yes.
she really hit it big, and it's been a number
Mhm.
of successful entrepreneurs that have just really made their huge step forward later in life,
Yeah.
and
Martha
that's always
Stewart.
inspiring.
Whether you
Martha
like
Stewart,
her or you don't like her,
yeah,
she did something.
yeah,
And it was like the second half of her life so far that she's, like did it. She didn't do anything before she was 40, you know, before
Right.
she was 50 even, I think, you know. So, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and she never stopped. She never stopped. She kept showing up. She kept showing up. And then
Hmm.
she really got noticed. And
Hmm.
those stories keep me inspired to just keep moving forward because this is my pace.
Hmm.
And I know that, the big moment is coming, but I'm enjoying these steps that I'm taking
Hmm.
because I know that, it's going to be worth it. It's not for nothing. And everyone's timing is different.
Yes. Yes, that is
Mm-hmm.
true. That's a really good line. I like that. Hmm. Um,
Yes.
you know, and if you miss those steps too, you're missing on something. You're missing on like a life experience. You're missing on like that step was so important to get you to that point. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can really only refer to like nursing stuff because that's what I've studied. But
Sure.
like, you hadn't understood how the heart functions, you'll never understand as a nurse congestive heart failure. And you'll never understand why the medicines you give for somebody, you know, like when people say they like when they get these swollen feet, like they, as a nurse, they need to understand it. So if they missed taking their anatomy and physiology class, it's a
What
problem.
good
You
are
need,
they? Right, right,
no,
right.
yes, exactly.
Well,
You
what good
need
are
that.
you?
You need it. So,
You need it. It's part of building that foundation
yes.
with just sometimes understanding life, but in your field,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the body
Yeah.
and how it
Mm-hmm.
works because everything is connected
It
with the body.
is. Yeah.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
when something is not feeling so right, it usually is the source is not where you feel it. It's usually someplace else. So I've learned that too. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm like, let me go get this checked out because this is feeling weird, but it's probably more than just this area. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, friend.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So, what are you doing to enhance your physical and mental as you mature?
Mm-hmm. Well, physically, I am staying active and I
Mhm.
drink a lot of water, actually.
Right? Okay.
This is the secret serum
It's
right
the
here.
secret serum. I mean, we heard it growing up. We are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get some juice or no, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Water is the key. I tell my children it's the only drink that our body requires.
Yeah,
It's the only thing that it
it is.
requires, really.
Mhm. It is.
So that is the key to life. Staying active and drinking
Hmm.
lots of water
Yeah.
and sleeping,
Mhm.
getting the rest.
Yeah. Yes, sleep is the foundation of health. That's what people say all the time. So, um, and like keeping your mind busy,
Hmm.
I don't know how what I'm doing with that specifically right now because um, I think I'm just active enough. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like we're just busy with our lives with our kids and keeping things rolling,
Yeah.
keeping up with their technology. How does this work?
You
Explain
got
to
that right.
me. So
Yeah.
I think that is helpful. So my recommendation to people who are older that stop, like you just have to have activities. You have to have
You
things.
do.
And I had a conversation with somebody recently, like um, people of a certain generation, maybe they had their phones and now they're like retired and that's what they're using. It's just different. You know what I mean? Like they're slower on their phones and it's not a bad thing, but like there is like a level of like the inundation too with it. So it's, you know, it's
Okay.
finding a balance for them too with this technology because they can do it, but also them having their balance with it and like doing other things. Crossword puzzles are still okay. Crossword
Exactly.
puzzles not on the phone, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Um,
Right.
having that hobby,
Yeah.
playing the piano, sewing, knitting, crocheting, playing golf,
Hmm.
you know, whatever, like just, you know,
Just
yeah.
reading books.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just embracing reading also keeps the mind going and
Mhm.
it can I tell my children, I know I was talking about the children, but I'd be like, yo, books can take you anywhere in the world.
They can.
And it can just spark something in you that you may not have known
Yeah.
once you read a book. So I encourage a lot of reading and not so much screen time.
Yes.
But even with me maturing, I've had to really embrace the technology and not be fearful of it,
Hmm.
and just learn about it so I can understand it better, which has made me more comfortable with it because it's not going anywhere,
Hmm.
and it can help with a lot of
Totally.
things.
I mean, prime example, starting a live IG,
Right.
like
Right. Yeah.
it's different
Okay.
doing you and I versus like a 22-year-old. It's like, oh,
Right. Right. No, Jane, it's so true. It's so true. Oh man, friend. And
Something
there was
you said though, the whole reading thing that I remember reading about once, but like travel is actually supposed to be really healthy to keep minds healthy because whenever you go to a new place, you have to figure out, navigate through a new place. So it's not going to the same place over, but going to a new city, and just discovering things and learning that you have to read new signs, figure out directions, things
mm-hmm.
like that. So that is a really good way to keep yourself healthy. It doesn't have to be like someplace like it doesn't have to be like Paris or London. It can simply be a different city in the U.S., a different city in your state.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Hmm.
Because with traveling, it does ignite something. I know for me, I always get a bit more excited. I'm in a new place and I'm having new smells. It's like it ignites all my senses differently.
Hmm.
So yeah, I definitely want to embrace more traveling the
Yeah.
more that I mature.
It'll keep you youthful. What can I say?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, friend. So those were the questions for tonight.
Hmm.
I think you shed some really great light on this
Hmm.
maturing
Oh,
process
thank you.
and
Again, it's like a
embracing it.
weird, like, specialty that I can speak to. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, a different thing and it's just something, I don't know. I think it's important. Um, women too, as we age and get older, like our bodies hit things like menopause and things like that. So it's just things that it needs to be talked about and shared. And,
They
that's
really
a whole
do.
topic there too, though,
No, friend,
of women hitting
it's so
perimenopause
true.
and menopause. So it's like, ooh, okay, but.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it is happening. And even from some of my ladies that sit in my chair,
Mhm.
when I'm like, oh man, I got this pain, they'd be like, oh, that's premenopause. I'm like, really? No. Oh no. They're like, yes. I'm like, oh no, no. So I started walking more,
Mhm.
but I did buy something that I was like, oh man, I'm at this point in life. I bought
Yeah.
some Tiger Balm. Tiger Balm is a salve, a rub to soothe the muscles,
Yeah.
and my grandmother would use it a lot, and now it's in my medicine cabinet. So
That is one of those like, well, I guess I've reached that chapter. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just embracing it and doing what I need to do to keep my quality of life as good as possible. And that's a big thing with maturing. I don't want our quality of life to decline because I'm maturing,
Right.
but it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more effort
Hmm.
and consistency to continue to feel good as we mature. What you
It does.
think?
It
Yeah,
really
right?
does. And to be cognizant of it and to like be aware and not resist it. Because it's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's going to
Yes,
happen
that
and you
is good,
have a
friend.
choice to
Mm-hmm.
either pretend it's not going to when it still does, or to do things to help make it easier, make it better,
Yeah,
to be like a rock star when you're in your 50s and
that's
60s.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That was great. Yeah, don't resist it. I love that.
Hmm.
Got to embrace it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to leave us with, my friend?
No, just keep drinking water.
You drinking water? Okay, more water, less wine. Yeah, yeah. There you go. I love it. I love it. Jane, thank you so
Mhm.
much. This was a great, great
It
talk.
was, as always. It was
Yes.
great.
And I will be tapping in with you again soon with our next topic.
I love it. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Tell the
I've
girls
got,
I say good
yeah.
night.
They decided to stay up a little late and
Beautiful.
talk about
Oh,
aging.
so
These two,
gorgeous.
forever young.
Forever young. Yes. Forever young. Yes. They keep you very youthful.
They do. They do.
Hmm.
So.
Well,
All
you
right.
guys
Thank
have a
you
great
so
night.
much. As
Thank
always,
you,
I'll see you
Jane.
soon. Alrighty.
Okay. Mhm.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye, honey. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.